Hello and welcome to today's session. I'd like to talk about a common problem, which is loading today's file. We're going to use SSIS to do this. My name is Bill Fellows. You can reach me, as you see here, Bill Fellows at sterlingdataconsulting.com. Phone number is 816-200-7682, and you're welcome to tweet at me at BillNKC. So what is today's file? Well, today is the 27th of August, and so you'll see here in my folder, SSIS data, SSIS videos, input. I have these files. Today's file will be source data underscore and then a date part and then text. Data within the file. Always inspect your files to see what the data looks like. I'm going to open this up in my favorite text editor. Here we can see we have 19 rows, less one for the header. That's for the 18th data. If I open up today, the 27th, you'll see the same thing. We have the total line count is going to be the numeric date plus the column header. So we solved the hard part. We've got a working data flow. It's pulling in the data as we expected. What we need to do is solve two more problems. One, which is how do we determine what today is? And two, how do we use that information to tell SSIS to pick up the file that looks like today's date? The way we're going to handle that is using expressions, and I love using expressions. They make SSIS really give it its power. So I clicked over here into my variables window, and let's talk through these kind of in my order, which is I'm going to look at this folder input first. So when we originally looked at our files, we saw we had we were picking up data in C:SSIS data, SSIS videos input. I'm going to concatenate the folder input with my source data variable, my base file name variable, which has a value of source data. My file extension, I know it's a txt file, and I'm going to use a dash to separate my year, month, day variable. So I'm zooming in here, and you can see here and here, these two variables, they've got something weird going on. They have these glyphs here. That is a new feature in 2012 that allows you to identify at a glance what properties have expressions set on them. So we have a variable here, year, month, date, that has a expression on it, as well as my current file name variable. Data type is string, and I'm going to click on this button here, the ellipsis, and that's going to bring up this window off screen. Here is a big nasty looking expression. Don't worry about it so much. We're going to click evaluate expression, and hey, it works. Okay, so now that it's working, let's kind of talk through what this expression does. It's kind of a handy pattern. So what we want the end result to be is a 4-digit year, a 2-digit month, and a 2-digit day. If we use the year, month, day operations against a datetime data type, it's going to return back your component parts, but it's going to return them back as numbers. That's great if we're dealing with years and we want a 4-digit year. But if we want a 2-digit month or 2-digit day, we're going to have to do something different. We have to recognize our data types or strings here. So when we do string concatenation, what we're going to do, we're going to call the operation. We're going to call a cast to length 2 for the result of either our month or our day. That's going to give us, if it's today, the day is 27, but the month is only going to give me an 8. I want a 08. So what we're going to do is create 0 plus the string version of the month, so 08, and then we're going to call the write operation, which will take the last 2 digits of that expression. That will give us 08. Here on the date, again, since I said today is the 27th, that will give us 027, and then we'll take the right of that, and that gives us the 27 out. So now that we have our working date here, we're just going to patch it all together. Again, we're going to use an expression. The expression for that keeps popping off screen. It's going to be our variable folder input, base file name, plus our variable year, month, date, and our file extension. So if I click evaluate expression, I ought to get, excellent, 827.txt. So we have our working variable. This ultimately is the value we want to use. So the last step we need to do is go to our connection manager. I'm going to right click on it and go to my properties. And here I'm going to go up to expressions. Expressions, as we saw in variables, is what gives SSIS its true power. So what we're looking for is this value right here, the connection string. The expression I'm going to use here is simply our variable current file name, evaluate expression. That still looks like what I want. I click OK. OK. Notice our connection manager also got the little glyph attached to it that's telling us something. Hey, this is more than meets the eye. Now when I kick off this package, you're going to notice I will get 27 rows of data. I can't count when I made my text file, but that's okay. The important thing is it wasn't my 18 from my original. The other thing to notice is that I have the file name here, and my source file name has changed from the design time value of 18 to now my runtime value, because this has an expression attached to it. And so to recap, what did we do? We learned how to pick up today's date. We applied it to a variable. We used that variable in our connection manager. We attached it to the connection string property. And since our flat file source is already using this connection manager, as the day changes, so does that value. I hope you enjoyed yourself today. We'll be doing plenty more of these videos. If there's anything you would like to hear about, let me know and I'll be happy to make a video. Thank you.